So for my research, the methodology, I contacted a Division III head football coach over by me, and I requested time to recruit willing players on that team for a short survey. And I chose Division III because not only was what it's available to me, but in Division II and Division I, you start talking about money and scholarships and bowls, and I wanted to avoid all of those extraneous circumstances and just focus on really why to play football and play for more than just money, essentially. And so I got 37 male participants for the division of football players and the Division III football players, and I got 3 Division III coaches. Unfortunately, I was not able to get any coaches with decades of experience, but I did get a few varying from 1 year of coaching to 7 years of coaching. And then I used a quantitative research methodology with a 25 Likert scale questionnaire based on 5 scenarios. So you had I had 5 scenarios, and for each scenario I had 5 questions or coaching reactions to each one, where each coaching reaction was based on a coaching style. So there was the thorough coaching style, which would correct a player in the moment and later during film study or meetings. The deferred coaching style, which was a coaching style where you may not correct in the moment, or maybe it's a small correction, but then you go later in the day, later at meetings or film study, and you really hammer home the correction there. Then there was the silent coaching type, which was really my control, which was the coach who didn't care. There was no corrections ever made. They just came in, did their job, left. There was never anything said. And so that was kind of I knew that one wasn't going to do very well in theory, but it worked out as expected. And then the quiet coaching style, that was mine, where the coach wants to be the friend of the player. And so coaching points were more suggestions rather than orders, and the message is conveyed. It's just not in a very powerful way that's going to get respect of the players, especially older players. And then the angry coaching style, which I wanted to be the stereotypical football coach, the one who screams and yells and to get the point across, and it's more of a disciplinary coach than it is a supportive coach. So my results were the players and coaches were almost identical, where the most effective coaching style with the players was the deferred and thorough style. And so what I found with the deferred one is the reason for that was a lot of players, you get into a kind of a zone when you're playing or when you're in practice and everything. And so if a coach takes you off to the side and starts correcting you, you may get bogged down. You may kind of lose that edge that you were in before, and you have to go find that again. Moderately effective was the quiet style, mostly because the message is still getting conveyed. It's just not in a way that's gaining the respect of the players to the coach. And then little to no effectiveness was the angry and silent style. Angry coach is sometimes it's necessary to get a point across, but really if it's your go-to coaching style, it is not effective at all. And then silent, obviously not at all. For the coaches, they prefer the deferred coaching style as the most effective. Kind of the similar way of the players, where almost instead of getting into a zone, you have plays that you need to get through, to prepare your team and prepare for that week's game. And so in order so that you don't get bogged down and you don't lose preparation time, you may make small corrections here and there, but you'll save the big corrections for film study and meetings afterwards. Then moderately effective was the quiet and thorough styles, for almost opposite reasons. The quiet doesn't get enough through, and the thorough is almost too much information and you're taking too much time out of practice. And then little to no effectiveness, again, was the angry and silent styles for the coaches. So discussion. The current study shows supportive results with previous research. As I've said before, players, they react better to autonomy and support. There's research where players and coaches, when they agree, and as we see, they agree on coaching styles. And so if you were to coach a player in the style that they are most responsive with, now you're going to get a player who's more willing to do what needs to get done. And so then you're going to have a more cohesive team, more conducive to success, and when they're successful, they enjoy it more, and then that leads to more success, which leads to the next point, which is more enjoyment equals better performance. I believe that enjoyment and performance go hand in hand, that when you truly care about something, you'll find a way to do it, and that you enjoy it. And if you enjoy it, you'll do more of it, and you'll perform better, and it just kind of feeds itself. It's a cycle where the more you enjoy something, the more you do it, the better you get, and the more enjoyable it is. So my recommendations and implications for future research. Implications would definitely have to be that coaches can use this data to create or enhance their own existing styles and better enhance the enjoyment of the players and the on-field player performance. And then future recommendations is I would want to add a research question, which would be if the players feel that their current coaches bring the best out of them. And because then you could cross-reference that answer to the answers that they give. So if they say no, and you look at their answers and their answers are completely opposite to the coaches, now you can see that their preferred style of being coached is not being met. And then I would ask the coaches the same thing. And so if a majority of players say no and the coaches say yes, there's obviously a lack of communication and a wall there that the players and coaches are not able to break down so that they can communicate better. And then, as with any research, a higher sample size would definitely be preferable. And now that I've done Division 3, I'd want to open up Division 2 to Division 1 and be able to see what those scholarships really make a difference with, if they make a difference at all, with motivation and performance. And then I would want to increase the number of coaching styles available. So the 5 that I chose were kind of an umbrella where you get a varied amount of coaching styles, and I'd want to do subsets of those to really pinpoint what coaching style would be optimum. And these are my references for the research, and I'd just like to thank you so much. This was a great program, and good luck everybody. Thank you very much.